The Doctor is in Aristarain 2 Origin Story, made by Origenesis. Nothing will stand in the way of the Doctor upholding his oath. 9:37 a.m., November 7th, 2056. 9146. Intergalactic Chamber of Medicine, Mars. The man, known only as the Doctor, entered the marble-laden foyer in the Intergalactic Chamber of Medicine, the sound of his footsteps echoing throughout the room. He glanced at the receptionist, who gave him a solemn nod. Everything was in place. The Doctor strolled through the unmanned security checkpoint, fiddling with his suit as he went along. Fitted with hidden sacks of various liquid, syringes, and high-output nebulizers, the Medic 83R was the perfect tool for the Doctor's line of work. Though the practice of alchemy seemed archaic and nonsensical to many, the man's understanding of naturally occurring compounds was second to none, and his potions had yet to fail. Having a PhD in both biology and botany, the Doctor fully comprehended what mixtures could heal the body. He knew what could harm it. Within a few movements of his fingers, the Medic 83R primed the solution within the lining of the suit, and with that, he swiped his keycard and entered the boardroom. The four other council members immediately turned to face the Doctor. Well, if it isn't Mr. Charity, took you long enough. Councilman number 4, born on Earth, climbed his way up through the medical industry through the charm, nepotism, and breaking the Hippocratic Oath.
My time is valuable, Doctor. I'm not sure why you feel so free to waste it.
Councilwoman number 4, straight, tidy black hair and a freshly pressed business suit, as bland and boring as they come. Beside her, Councilman number 3, a large and burly man, took a puff of his cigar. Placed in his position by an infamous mafia family, he held little regard for the health concerns of others, simply wielding the power for the family's benefit. Hurry up with whatever this meeting's about. Councilman number 1, a follower, given his position off a silver platter, spoon-fed each decision. Seems to be on his 7th cup of coffee today, too. How dare he claim to not be addicted? I'll be brief. Taking a seat at the head of the table, the Doctor pressed a button on the remote, lighting up the wall behind him. On it was a graph detailing the difference between median household income and the price of medicine. Prescriptions have been too expensive for the average household to afford for a year now. People are dying. I urge you once again to grant my request for emergency control of policy, as I already have a plan to resolve this. Silence. Number 2 broke it first.
The prices are simply a result of the economy, something that would be irresponsible for us to interfere with.
Number 1 took a long swig of his coffee. Yeah, can't mess with the economy just because you feel bad for people. Number 4 adjusted his sunglasses, shaking his head. We ain't in the business for handouts, 5. How many times we gotta tell you that? I think those concoctions of yours are getting to your head. Number 3, cigar now exhausted, glared at the Doctor. We done? Sighing, the Doctor set down the remote. Yes, we are. A slight head turn flipped the Medic 83R hood over his head, goggles setting over his eyes. I shall work with my profession to improve the quality of medical care and to improve the public health. A touch to his neck caused 2 halves of the mask to extend outward, connecting over his nose and mouth. But I shall not let any lesser public or professional consideration interfere with my primary commitment to provide the best and most appropriate care available to each of my patients. A bend of his elbows primed the nebulizers. To the extent that I live by these precepts, I shall be a worthy physician. With that, a thick pink fog began billowing out of his sleeves like the exhaust from a vent. The other council members looked on in varying degrees of horror as the gas rushed at them. Number 3 shot up and barreled towards the Doctor. With a flick of the wrist, a syringe revealed itself from within the Medic 83R's sleeve, and with a quick thrust, pierced the made man's abdomen. His stocky frame instantly plummeted to the ground. Number 2 rushed to the door, frantically swiping her keycard, only to be met with an error message each time. She began to choke as she pounded the alternative passcode into the keypad. It was no use, the receptionist had done her part. Each attempt was more lethargic than the last as she slowly crumpled to the floor, her long nails clawing at the door as she went down. Number 1 had had a panic attack the moment the room began flooding with the toxin, no thanks to the outrageous amounts of caffeine in his system. The hyperventilation sped up the process. Number 1 fell quickly. Number 4 clambered onto the table, desperate to keep his head above the rising fog. Hey, we can talk this out, right? The Doctor did not answer. Number 4 looked for something, anything in the doctor's eyes that resembled mercy, but the goggles didn't allow him to see anything at all but his own red, hopeless expression. Eventually, the gas rose above Number 4's head as he stumbled off the table, crashing to the floor. No more obstacles. After the gas dissipated, the doctor contacted emergency services before exiting the building, tossing the phone onto a bio-grade disintegrator in the way out. 11:28 a.m. November 10th, 2056. 2311. Bit City Police Department, Mars.
What happened to him, Chief?
The officer turned the report over in his hands. Vegetables, all of them.
Any injection sites?
Examinations came up short of any physical marks. Blood tests came back negative for traces of foreign substances.
Well, did the cameras get...
The chief put up a hand as the news kicked on.
The 5th councilman of the ICM has assumed emergency control given the state of his former associates. Recent reports show a significant decrease in the price of prescriptions across the entire galaxy.
The chief set the report on the table, turning fully towards the television.
Chief, about the
Shh.
The 5th councilman, known to many simply as the Doctor, has a history of traveling to various communities and treating their ill. In times of economic hardship, he has treated men, women, the elderly, and children free of charge. The Doctor has denied any involvement with the mysterious condition of the other council members, stating that while he was on Mars, he was in an adjacent city treating a patient.
The chief's expression shifted, contemplatively eyeing the document. Sergeant?
Yes, sir?
Shred the report.
But, sir,
That's an order, Sergeant, and if it isn't done when I get back, you're fired. Now, I've got to pick up my mother's needs. The chief then grabbed his keys and left the room. The sergeant reluctantly stood over the shredder, report in hand. He looked at the TV once more.
At this time, there is no evidence tying the Doctor to the crime.
Sup, nerds? It's me. So, I haven't posted in a little bit. In my defense, okay, I got into college. I became an adult. A lot has happened. So I apologize. I cannot promise I'll be posting more, but I will warn you that I'm trying to shift a lot of my content to voice acting. Doesn't mean I don't plan to make any more roguelite videos, but it's predominantly going to be voice acting, I think. So if that's not interest to you, I get it. You're good to go, man. I'll let it slide this time. But all right, if you enjoyed, I'll leave the link in the comments. And if you have anything you want me to read, whether it be game-based, horror stories, anything, just leave them in the comments and I will go through them individually because I have no life. All right, see ya.